Hello, everybody. I'm DearMYRTLE, your friend in genealogy, but you know that this channel is all about journaling. I've got some paper here, and we're ready to make the insert for this soft-sided journal that we made in our last video. Don't worry, I'll put the link below. So among the things are some of the cast-offs from making the cover, an old book page, some tissue paper from a pattern, which I have a million of those patterns that I've never used, some more old book pages. And we need to make several pages, and these are some companion prints that kind of go along with what we've already got. Now, these are digis from Rachel of Roxy Creations. Love what she's doing. Just absolutely beautiful work. So I'm kind of going to do the fold over thing that I did with Diane's journal. And we're going to intersperse, it's not going to be that many pages, old Myrt, just white computer paper. I think this is light colored. Would be nice if we had a cream, but maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So we now know that we need to cut off these edges. And I'm thinking this time I'll just cut it on my big cutter, make it a little easier. There we go. So I'm assuming they are all, yeah, okay. Never assume though, Myrt. I really shouldn't. All right, so we're going to cut, just trim off that edge. And trim the edges all the way around so that we don't have to worry about it anymore. I do hope that if you are into journaling, you'll comment below and talk to me about the kind of journaling you're considering doing. Maybe you're writing your personal history. I'm mostly working on ancestor artifacts at the moment. Gee whiz, I totally missed on this guy. Let's try this edge again. And in doing so, I have a lot of fun while I'm creating these journals, so my grandchildren will know from whence they came. I'm having a lot of fun thinking about the person whose artifact I am preserving in my old steamer trunk. And I'm starting to get good feedback from my grandkids about this. All right, so I want to figure out how thick or wide I'd rather to make this. So I'm going to cut it about here because I want the pages to be smaller than the cover, of course. So we will take care of that. Oops. All righty. Okay, wow, those are going to make nice belly bands and things. I love it. I have been learning to make journals, journals. But what I've been doing lately is spending time. Let's be sure this is a good width. Yep, it's quite a bit smaller than the cover, but I'm not too worried. Been spending quite a lot of time with Rachel. Oh, what a day. Well, I got to tell you, I've been nervous because of the inauguration. I'm glad that there was no violence. And the best thing for me to do is be down here in my craft room, not thinking about things like that anymore. You can only take so much. And we got the usual cookie glue. I meant to swap it out. Way more glue than we needed. Okay. We will now piece this together. All right. And we'll piece some of this on the other side. Hopefully I won't use as much glue. Of course, I do want them to actually stick together. Okay. All right, now I think we're going to be okay if what I'm doing is I'm lining it up. Let me get this out of the way. To figure out where to do the folds, I've got 2 fold lines. And I'm going from the fold line closest to this edge. So I'm holding my paper right up against it. And coming about that far and folding the page. And then from there on in, I do the accordion thing. We're going to make an accordion. The tricky part, apparently, even though I use a straight edge, I wasn't too perfect. See, it's a little bit of a hangover there. So let's be careful when I fold, because that'll just get magnified over the length of this. Okay. Here we go. Doesn't take long to make these. They're very easy and a whole lot of fun. Oh my gosh, you're so crooked, Myrt. Crooked old Myrt. So somebody asked me on this channel privately, where did you come up with the name Myrt? Because my real name is not Myrt. It's Pat, or Patricia, as I would be called if Mom was upset. And when I was doing, I hold 2 webinars, sometimes 3 a week over on my DearMYRTLE channel for genealogists. And when I first started doing things as DearMYRTLE, I wanted an old-timey name, and one of my grandmothers is named Myrtle. And so that's where that all came from. Okay, so you're saying, wait a minute, Myrt, these don't quite line up. That's okay. It ends interest and intrigue. And aren't we intriguing? And here's the last one. And then all we have to do is, I'm not ready to use the tissue paper yet, glue sides together. So I've got to decide which side I want to have be the real pages, because these are pretty interesting. All right, let's look at it this way. It's pretty boring, all white. Now, if you have double-sided paper, that might be a different view. So it's pretty obvious what we're going to glue together. Okay, so this first one is by itself. These 2 get glued together, and we go from there. All right, and I'm using my Elmer's glue stick. There we go. Now, the reason we use these books is we can't get this all over our work surface. Like today I was with Heather and I squirted some of my, one of the little spray sparkle paints, and it got all over this work surface, even though I thought I had well protected it. Okay, so there is for that first. All right, see, it's folded. It's folded. It's now thicker, but not thicker than the edge, than the cover itself. All right, now let's see what goes next. So then you put these 2 in together, and we shall do that. And I appreciate those of you that have started following me and have subscribed to my channel, because we're kind of in this together. I'm learning how to do these things, and I'm getting better at this one because I've done it before, although I'm still slightly crooked. All right, now we've got several pages of the book. All right, here we go. This is there, 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 and now we have to put these 2 together. Okay, we're almost done. And we'll be able to install them in the book. There we go. I should learn to do this faster. Roxy just... am I ever going to call her Rachel without saying Roxy first? I don't know. Don't worry. She just does it so efficiently. Okay. Now, let's bring the book in and figure out how we're going to install this. Now, all right. So remember where our spine is. We've got to get that so that this is inserted in the spine area. So I'm going to put some glue there. I think I'll use the other kind. This is all paper. Okay. And I'm going to cheat and cut this a little, this back page. I don't want the whole page down there. So we will cut it. Just kind of right along there. All right. So now we're putting this in position. All right. I'm more concerned about getting the spine centered in that little, there we go. Now we're ready to put glue on our folded areas. Now it's okay. This is mix and match paper. It adds intrigue. That I'm now going to press down doesn't match it perfectly. It's an intriguing design element, right? Of course, Myrt. Okay, it may be covered up, it may not. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, here's this part. We're going to glue it all around the edge and a little in the middle. A little of this art glitter glue goes a long way. Thank heavens, because it's kind of not cheap. Okay, so now we have a book that has, let's show what it looks like. That has a cover with the ties already inserted underneath the inside of the cover. And now we have several interesting pages in the book with which to tell the story of my mother. All right, we're going to go a little bit farther this time. Usually we stop at about this point. But I'd like to actually create, what do I want to create? Let's create a little pocket here. And I think I want a completely different color. Have we got something like that? Let's see. This is what we have. That's just white. But kind of like this. Do I want it here or do I want it here? Okay. I'm going to fold this down. The reason I'm folding it is along this edge, we're going to get a lot more pressure because this tuck spot, and let me take my own example here, is going to hold some kind of a tag. And so this edge needs to be thicker than just the typing paper single width. So that's why I have folded that down. Okay, so let's do this. We need to glue it. And you're right, I need to cut it, but I'm gluing it first. Whoops. I must have really liked playing with paper and glue and scissors when I was in kindergarten, because I actually find this very relaxing. All right, now let's figure out how we're going to insert this. Ooh, I have an idea too. So this is going to fit right here. Okay. And I want to take a little tiny bit of something to help have that show up better. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Like a little bit more contrast between here and there. So let's see what I have in my stash here. That's too, is that too shiny? I think so. Green might be nice, some kind of a green or, heck if I know what I can use. Well, we may embellish it later with a little bit of lace along there. All right, so to make this a good tuck spot, we do not glue on this side. This is where we're going to tuck something in. We make a U-shaped or a C-shape because we're sideways bit of glue. And this glue is very good for that because you can get it right where you want it because of this point on the glue. The deployment is excellent. All right. So now we're going to put this here. I know it's not finished. I know I'm going to put something along there to embellish it even more. But if you think about it, let me get a tag just for instance. You put a tag in there, you pretty well can see that that's a tuck spot. All right. But I want something else on there. I just haven't thought of it yet. Can't think of everything at once. Okay, so we have the beginning of an idea there. I need to put my mom's picture here somewhere, but I don't have it printed yet. This is a great place for me to start telling the story here. So let's make, let's see what we've got here. That looks like a tuck spot, but it's not. It's part of the same. I think I'm going to have to wait and see how much of the story I want to tell in this small amount of space. I don't know. What do you think? Life can get very interesting when you're trying to figure out how to do the fun part, the inside design elements, etc. Wow, this was a card I was trying to make. But that's not what I had in mind. Oh, here's a good green. Maybe this green would work. Is that going to go? Nope, it's not the right. Well, nothing's wrong. Actually, nothing's wrong. No, I think lace is going to do better. So I will get some lace. It's right over here. And try not to cry. I bought this all at Goodwill for not very much money. Wow. Might be, let's try this. Not quite as dark. Maybe we'll do something on the cover with that. Wow. I think I will. We'll at least lay it out and we'll see what we come up with. All right. One good thing about old discarded laces and things, I'm not having to cut into the lace doilies that are from our family or handkerchiefs or things like that. You know, I could use it on the cover with some other things on top. I could use it here, put a picture of my mom behind it, and cut off a lot of the bulk. But this is exactly why we created that spine area of about 1/4 of an inch when we made the cover, because these get thick really quickly. All right, I know I want to use this somewhere in this. Oh, golly, look at these other laces. I mean, serious work somebody's done. I wonder if this was done by machine. It's just so delicate. Pretty trim. Would that trim look nice? Might. There's something behind it. Wow. Wow. We've got to use this. It's that same, it fits in. Wow. I don't know what to think. Too nerve-wracking a possibility. Okay, it's one of those where the main design is here. Gosh, you have to go through auditioning these things like this, figure out what it is you're going to do. Oh, man. Just beautiful stuff. All right. Well, what we're going to do is make the base here, right here, for a different kind of a tuck spot. And we're going to use this book page. It's too fragile to do it totally on its own. And we're going to need to cut it down. And we're going to have to embellish it a bit, to say the least. All right. So we're going to go up here. All right. I'm going to cut this. I guess I could do it on screen. That would be nice. All right. Now, it's going to have some things on it before we actually post it here. First of all, I want to make this double thick. Let me get my book out so that I don't get glue everywhere. I'm a messy girl. All right. I think that's half the fun of doing this stuff. Okay. All right, now what else do we want to do? I would like to take some of this and tear it. Okay, I'm thinking of putting that there. I'm not positive yet. Let's take some of this beautiful, beautiful, let's see how thick, this very beautiful linen handkerchief. It's handkerchief linen, literally. They used to make dresses out of this as well. Now, I specifically want to have, let's move this out of the way and move this. Man, I'm really messing up here. I specifically would like to see the lettering coming through. Not that the lettering is important, but it's a design element. All right, so we're going to cut it about there and tear it. All right. We can clip those little ends. Okay, so to get this on, we're going to have to be, let's see, which side is prettier, one side or the other? Oh, they're both gorgeous. That's all I can tell you. All right, so we're just going to put glue barely around the edge. So we need our art glitter glue. Wow. Can't believe I ran across this. Yeah, that's the right side because of these French knots. All right. Put it right along the edge. Oh, this is nerve-wracking because it's so beautiful. Now, in my mother's day and age, it was, you always kept a handkerchief with you. It was before the disposable era of Kleenex. Now, I can't drag this. I have to dot it because it's pulling up. And I got to do it quickly before it dries on the first part. All right. Put a little more glue here. I could use fabric tack. It dries clear. Okay. Here we go. But this will do just fine. Wow. Okay. Is that? I think I'll trim this here. Now, one thing I noticed that Rachel does more than I do, she uses a lot of Tracy Fox's little labels. And I don't necessarily do that. I'm more of a minimalist when it comes to all this stuff. But that's just where I am in my thinking right now. I'm going to let this go all the way down to the corner. All right. I don't know what else to do with that because it's just, that's so incredibly beautiful. All right. But look how well it goes in this book. Total surprise. It looks more aqua here by itself, and this looks more green, but it totally goes. Wow. I can always decide later to add more embellishment. Now remember, if we're going to put a tag in there, and I'm not saying that's the one, but I'm just saying, we have to do a U-shaped beading of glue, and then we'll have that element done. All right. I have been so bad as to, let's see, there's the bottom. Let me turn it this way so I don't get my fingers in this glue. It doesn't take much of this stuff and it holds like iron. It's really quite good. All right. Now let's see how this goes in here. Oh man. I can't believe I wasn't even looking for a handkerchief. It just came with the lace. Oh my gosh. I wonder where I got this lace. I wonder if it's what Pam Weil sent me. All right, I'm putting that there just to remind myself it's a tuck spot, but I am so pleased with what we've accomplished today. So what we've done is we created the inside pages out of one big long strip that we folded back and forth. We made a tuck spot here. We made another tuck spot. Where are we? Here. And that's pretty cool. We've also decided we may or may not use this as one of the elements. And we have a little bit of a ways to go, but I think that's a lot to accomplish in one single setting, especially since I don't do hour-long videos per se. I mean, I will if you think it would be helpful, but I do better if I see it in little spurts. I don't know. This is the front of it, though, because this part goes up. Nothing left to say, but I'm Dear Myrtle, your friend in genealogy. Happy family tree climbing and journaling, everybody. That's a wrap.